The good man mounted upon his horse to ride for king and crown. He looked to the eyes of his lady fair, but she looked only upon the ground. He cried out his love for her and could not reason why. When he offered her his heart, she only said coldly, "Goodbye." And as he rode away, he saw, but could not understand. While others cried and carried on, she wept no tear, nor raised no hand. Could it be, the good man thought, that my wife doth wish me dead? Is this the reason she looks not at me, but lowers her eyes instead? In the years that followed, he fought bravely and true, for his king, for his honor, and his life. And he wrote 2 times to the woman he loved, but got no response from that goodly wife. He prayed to God for answers, but silent was the sky. Why had this woman who owned his heart only seen fit to murmur goodbye? And then came a battle like none before. Outnumbered by half, they did kneel and pray, but relief was mired beyond the moor, and by dark archers held at bay. He looked around, and all he saw were the Turkish eyes of the enemy, from which no relief, it seems, could be found. And he thought of his homeland beside the sea. He saw a long, curved sword go cleanly through a young boy walking to his right. And as he looked into the now still eyes, he knew a red trail would be left tonight. How sad, he thought, to die so far from my beloved western city. And he thought once more of his life and his love, which had now grown so far from me. He cursed God for his pannish ways that took both love and relief away, and prayed to him to let him again have all that he lost on that long-ago day. Then the good man lost his faith in God and love and the future taken away. And he drew his sword, and he pulled up his horse and decided to give up his life that day. What had he to live for, he reasoned out, if the woman whose love he'd held so high could say not "I love you," not "stay with me," but could only murmur this cold goodbye. And so, covered in blood and bathed in sweat, he thrust and he blocked and he thrust again, and he made a blood path through which his men followed and fought with the strength of 20 men. He was fighting on instinct, which does not retreat, but sees only the options of fight and die. And the good man broke 80 hearts by steel, all for that one heartbreaking goodbye. Now a young man, who knew the source of his pain, wrote to his lady fair, asking her why, when he pledged his love on that day long ago, she had only murmured coldly goodbye. And herein, as written, lies her response, for she believed the young man was her now dead lord, who wrote from a cot in a medic's tent, dying by the blade of the sword. "My lord," she responded, "my love, my life, I've ever remained your faithful wife. I've 1,000 times seen the pain in your eye when you said I love you and I only goodbye. Rest assured, you ever have owned my heart, though the fates now dictate us ever apart. But though I love you, I love also my sovereign, and I could not keep a brave soldier from him. If I had looked up, and you seen my eye, you would never have had cause to wonder why, for it was filled with love and mead and tears, which would have sustained you these last few years. But you could never have been so true to your king, knowing how I needed you. I've kept up the farm. I've learned to plow and to go on without you, as I must now. A part of my soul with you will die. I believe I knew it was my last goodbye. You cannot know. Sit down with your ghost at supper each night and not know what has happened to you in your flight. You've not seen the 1,000 nights I've cried alone in a bed where once you had lain beside me, not knowing if you had been slain. You wrote those 2 times. I couldn't respond, for you needed to think that I wished you gone. No word since then that you lived or died. You've not seen 1,000 nights I've cried. But one thought has sustained me throughout these years, has given me courage to face these fears. And I write you now, that you may understand why I wept no tear, nor raised no hand. Please hear me, my love. Please think on this well while you are in heaven and I here, in hell. If I had looked up, and you seen my eye, could you have been so true to your king, knowing how I needed you? Or would you have salvaged your life to give to me and slaughtered those men whose lives you saved? No, I have no regrets, my lord, my love. I have done well, for those souls would have dragged you down to hell. And now you shall face heaven, and I face life. Ever your servant, your good wife.